in advance, but as I was flying over to good old California, some news broke in the WNBA. And some of this news is actually exciting for fans, and I feel like we have been in the trenches for the past few months covering this CBA stuff, but the WNBA finally released their schedule for the 2026 season, and they posted this press release. It says WNBA slated to tip off 30th season Friday, May 8th. Toronto Tempo makes franchise debut May 8th, Portland Fire opens season and return to WNBA on May 9th, and May 9th includes defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces finals rematch versus Phoenix, and Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever hosting Paige Becker's.
The WNBA just announced its 2026 season schedule, a move meant to portend a promising future. However, the league star responded right once, asking, "What games are we actually playing?" Players like Arjura Stevens and Adja Wilson publicly questioned the timing of this purportedly huge announcement, which was immediately welcomed with a fierce storm of bewilderment and rage. Instead of the triumphant debut that fans might have anticipated, it brought an unusual internal dispute to light. Suddenly, the league's future appeared more unclear than before. This was a combat line, not just a schedule, despite the major disclosure.
Finals rematch versus Phoenix, and Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever hosting Paige Becker's and the Dallas Wings. And in this whole press release, there were only two players that were mentioned, and that is Caitlin Clark and Paige Becker's. And kind of what I've noticed throughout this whole schedule release is that it feels like the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky rivalry is finally dead. It was pretty much dead on arrival last year, but they had them play each other like 5 or 6 times. But this year, the Indiana Fever is only playing the Chicago Sky 3 times. And now it seems like the WNBA has moved on, and they are definitely pumping up this Caitlin Clark versus Paige Becker's.
The expansion clubs were formally revealed by the new schedule, which aims to showcase progress. On May 8th, Toronto Tempo will make their franchise debut, and on May 9th, the Portland Flyers will return to the WNBA. This rollout was obviously intended to highlight new markets and new vitality while showcasing the league's ambitious growth aspirations and expanding footprint. It's a daring declaration about the WNBA's future, encouraging new competitors and enthusiastic fan bases. But is it sufficient to address the more serious problems?
Game is going to be really good, or I can't wait to see them play New York. Like, we do not know who is going to be on which team. We can obviously tell with some of the rookie contracts, like obviously Paige is still going to be in Dallas, but even with the stuff that happened with Angel Reese last year with the Chicago Sky, will she request a trade? Will Angel Reese get out of Chicago? Where would she go if she does get out of Chicago? What will the New York Liberty look like? They have a brand new coaching staff. Like, what are these expansion teams going to look like? And also, even if the players pick up the current offer that is on the table from the WNBA, that's going to change everything. Like, their maximum salaries are going from $250K to over $1 million.
The schedule included some exciting games in addition to the expansion. In addition to the disputed matchup between Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever and Paige Bucher's Dallas Wings on May 9th, the defending champion Las Vegas Aces will play the Lynx in a replay of the championships. In order to maximize attention and boost viewership, the league is obviously relying on individual star power and planning high-stakes games. This deliberate action demonstrates a clear plan to sell its most well-known individuals from the outset, igniting competition straight away.
Money like that gets involved, I could see players chasing the money. Like, are these players just going to stay with the franchise so they can try to win a chip, or are they going to go for what team is going to offer them the max amount of money? And so I think that we're going to see so many moving parts. Like, I predict that this WNBA free agency period is going to be like the Wild Wild West, especially because the CBA is still not finished, so they're already behind on free agency. Like, free agency should have already been started. But I think it's going to be crazy. I think even a team like Minnesota, like obviously you could see Fee staying there and you could see Minnesota giving her a max contract, but some of these big time role players, they might try to get more money elsewhere. Like, we just don't know. We don't even know what the...
Only 2 players were specifically highlighted in the WNBA news release of the 2026 calendar, which is a transparent marketing ploy: Paige Buchers and Caitlin Clark. It's not an accident. It's a purposeful, well-thought-out attempt to change the subject, in an apparent attempt to create new rivalries and fan excitement around these particular players. The league is making significant investments in a new youth-driven storyline. With many well-known players left out, it's a clear indication of who the WNBA thinks will define its next age.
next WNBA season. However, does that actually mean a season is going to happen? Does that mean that they've made progress in the CBA? Not necessarily. Alexa Filippo tweeted, via the WNBA, releasing the 2026 schedule is a key step as we prepare for the WNBA's 30th season and allow teams, partners, broadcasters, and fans to begin the essential planning for the year ahead. The league views the schedule release as a necessary part of business operations that allows teams to start logistical planning, sell ticket packages, also to secure optimal arena dates, all the more crucial for teams who don't own their arenas. And that was something that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
This is normal. After all, at this time, I wouldn't anticipate anything different. WNBA players ought to be paid more and have better working circumstances. Send the WNBA leadership an email urging them to pay their players fairly and engage in sincere negotiations. Thus, the WNBA issued the schedule on the same day. Asa Stevens, for example, commented on an Instagram post stating that the WNBA announced the 2026 season schedule amid CBA discussions. Other WNBA players were also making comments on social media. Adja Wilson also posted on Threads, saying, "Looking at it, yet dissecting this freshly released schedule feels strikingly premature, almost illogical." She simply left a series of question marks in her comment. Team rosters are completely in flux because the crucial free agency period hasn't even started. Given that the makeup of these teams is entirely unknown, how can supporters genuinely look forward to games or player performances? A future calendar is revealed, but the players who will fill it are still unknown, creating an odd dichotomy. It's a timetable devoid of its central figure.
I mean, this is typical. I wouldn't expect much different at this point. WNBA players deserve a higher salary and better working conditions. Send an email to WNBA leadership telling them to negotiate in good faith and pay their players fairly. So this was the same day that the schedule was released by the WNBA. And some WNBA players were actually commenting on social media, like Azare Stevens commented under an Instagram post that said the WNBA releases 2026 season schedule amid CBA negotiations, and she just commented a bunch of question marks. And then Asia Wilson also posted on Threads, she said, "Me looking at..."
When possible player movement is taken into account, the uncertainty increases. Will Angel Reese ask to be traded away from Chicago? With their new coaching staff, how will the New York Liberty appear? What about the enigma that surrounds the expansion teams? The schedule is merely a structure without much content without these essential details. Therefore, any in-depth examination will be detrimental to fans. Right now, the entire league landscape is a volatile, moving sand dune.